Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear. Today's date is Sunday, April 30th, 2023. Joining me off camera is my dad, who is asleep because it was a long night. So Amy is not with us this week. She's away. So I asked my dad to share a link to today's Sunday video update on his Facebook. So, Dad, I know you're asleep, but thank you for doing that. Um, so there's a lot that I need to talk about. I'm a bit, I don't know, lethargic, indefatigable, because there's been a lot going on. Many of you are aware, many of you are not. And for those of you who may not be aware, I'm going to kind of talk about it this week. If you're new here, what I do is I kind of talk about the week in review. And I'm here roughly from about 3 to 4, about an hour, give or take. But this week I might go over. There's so much to talk about. I would try to fit everything into one solid hour if possible, but I am not in a very good mood. So for those of you who may not be aware of what's going on, I'm going to explain. So there's an account on Facebook, and I've been talking about this on this channel incessantly for the past few days. It's this account on Facebook going under the name of Justina Banks. And so this account is dedicated and predicated on slandering my name, saying all kinds of horrific shit about me, getting people to believe something or things that have not met their burden of proof with evidence. And this has been continuous. This has been going on for any number of years, actually. And I've been doing everything in my power to get this to stop, to get this to go away. This person does not stop. And so the people that I was staying with, I was on vacation in the middle of the month. The people I was staying with, they were harassed by this Justina Banks. And now this Justina Banks has influenced the thinking of people and how they perceive me, including the people that I stayed with. And I'm a bit flustered by this because the people that I stayed with, I was there for 4 days. 4 days. They've had the experiences with me directly. In fact, they invited me out to their house. I thought we were having a great time. I thought it was, just the bee's knees to get to hang out with some friends that I've been communicating with on social media for a while. And their grandson is autistic. I had done so much for that kid. And with no strings attached, I know there's a lot of people who immediately resort to that. Well, what are the ulterior motives for this Jared Fuller helping this autistic kid or doing this for that, cancer survivor? The only motive is just trying to be a good person, to be a decent human being, unlike Justina Banks, who is an absolute coward, cannot show their true identity. Instead, they talk a bunch of bullshit. They get everybody riled up. They put horrible ideas into people's minds about the kind of person I am. And it's really upsetting to me that the people that I went to stay with would actually consider this to be true. I have tried to reach out to them. I was actually blocked from one of the pages because I reactivated my Facebook page momentarily just to check some things out. And I was blocked from one of the pages. And I'm really upset because it's like we've had time together. We've spent time together. We actually communicated. We talked. And I can imagine they're probably thinking, well, You knew about this the whole time and you didn't say anything about it. The reason I didn't mention it is because I was hoping, for the sake of my sanity and for the protection of everybody else, including the friends that I was staying with, that this would go away and this person would get bored and just leave me alone and stop harassing me and stalking me, sharing my posts and my YouTube videos. This Justina Banks is relentless. And the mere fact that anybody who would just believe something that someone tells them just based on its own merit, the fact that you would believe that just by word of mouth is very, very disturbing to me. It's disheartening. We as a society need to do better at distinguishing fact from fantasy. What's true and what isn't. And so I am really big on the evidence thing. And yes, I had to actually mention the name of an autistic page or a page of a little girl on the spectrum because they were calling me a creep and a predator, this, that, and the other on their page. And I told them, you're going to take this fucking post down or I'm going to sue you. Well, I found out that they actually did take the post down. So I'm not going to be going after anyone and not anyone from that particular group, the autism group. But this Justina Banks, if this person doesn't stop, they're going to be in some trouble. I am looking into legal representation. Everybody's giving me suggestions on what I need to do. I'm looking into things very clearly. I'm going to get the ball rolling here pretty soon. I'm going to be making some phone calls. I'm going to be contacting the Michigan Bar Association to find out what my options are for attorneys because this needs to stop. I know this Justina Banks, whoever it is, the coward, the lowlife, is watching this. I know the people who I stayed with are watching this, perhaps. And it really bugs me that people would be so quick to believe what they are told. I cannot for the life of me understand this. If someone is telling me anything that would require additional evidence to confirm what they're saying, I would wait for that evidence to come about. If there's no evidence for it, why would I believe it? That's where my mind is because I'm a very logically, critically thinking person. I don't just believe shit because someone tells me I should believe it or because they're trying to convince me or to make it sound compelling. I've been very upset about this all week. The mere fact that I actually stayed with these people and I helped them. The person I stayed with, I mean, I had given him money because I told him, I said, look, I want you to take this money because I understand there's going to be a lot of driving. And whatever you don't spend in gas from the money I give you, just use it on your grandson. Get him, whatever he needs or whatever he wants. But that was my token of appreciation for allowing me to stay with them and for them to open their doors to me when they didn't have to. They were under no obligation. But the reason I did not mention Justina Banks to them or to anybody is because I want this to go away on its own. Justina Banks is not going to stop. And the mere fact that people can't see that the Justina Banks Facebook account is fake is just beyond my comprehension of the way people think and behave. It is just beyond my understanding. Because here's the thing. Right away, you should know that Justina Banks is not the person's real name. It's just not. Because if it were, they would post selfies to corroborate with their identity, as I have, whether it be on Facebook or even here on YouTube, which I don't make my identity a secret. I never have. I've got nothing to hide because the truth does not fear anything. The truth is the truth. It's either true or it's not true. Justina Banks is not a real person. I mean, it's a real person behind the account, but the name is not true. It's not right. Because if that person actually used their real name and their real identity, talking all the shit that they're talking, then it would be more susceptible for them to be hauled into court and sued for defamation and slander. It would just be that. So the mere fact that you people are believing and taking the word of this Justina Banks is really just awful. I don't want to call a spade and start pointing out how people are dullards and they're, lummoxes. I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to, I'm not here to name call. I don't want to name call this week, except for Justina Banks being the exception. Justina Banks is a fucking coward. Justina Banks will never show their true identity. I am convinced that it's Russ Boggs. I am absolutely convinced because I have seen a picture of his chin on the account before. Now, by what I understand, this Justina Banks account has been active for the past 2 years, and they are dedicated to slandering and defaming me. And believe me, I get screenshots all the time. I mean, they're going after my friends here in town because I dressed up as the Easter Bunny on Easter, and I visited with some neighbors. In my costume. I went to the retirement home in Chesaning, the old folks' home, and I paid a visit to all of the elderly, decrepit, octogenarian folk in there. And so that was fun. That was an awesome experience. And I get to my friend's house, but which, by the way, her son watches these live streams. There's people everywhere, okay? And I'm in my Easter Bunny getup. And the little girl comes running out because she recognizes it's the Easter Bunny. Okay, cool. Excuse me. She realizes it's the Easter Bunny. So, mind you, when I ordered the costume, I thought it was big enough. I thought because I'm very broad in the shoulders, and I figured it was the right size costume for my stature and my height. And as I found out, it's actually not big enough. And so I can't lean forward in the costume without the head part sliding off. So I can't do that. And then if I bend forward, I take the chance of ripping the fabric in the back because it's held together by Velcro. And so when the little girl came running up to me, I had to, let me show you. I had to kneel forward. I had to kneel forward like this and kind of do, hug her this way. So that way the head wouldn't slide off and I'm not ripping it's a $90 costume. But when that video got out, I was being accused of, he's thrusting his groin out to a little girl. And that is not the case at all. Her mom was there. My dad was there. Her big brother was there. Her grandmother was there. Her dad was there. Her aunt was there. There were other people in the apartment complexes who also brought their children out to see the Easter Bunny. No one thought it was sexual as this Justina Banks is trying to portray it to be. And the only person who is seeing it that way is Justina Banks. And if you look at Russ Boggs' Facebook page, he talks about his dick, he talks about his balls. Everything to him is sex, sex, sex. So why would it be any surprise for a Justina Banks to think of this as anything sexual? It wasn't sexual. The costume was not big enough for me. And I can't believe I would even have to explain that. There are more than enough people who will back me up on this. I know there are. But I'm speaking to the people who are simpletons and they can't think outside of the box on things. They can't challenge or question what they're being told. And yes, that includes the people that I stayed with. They're not challenging or questioning anything. And it's not an insult. That is a fact. They don't challenge or question anything they're being told by this Justina Banks. Now they're not speaking to me, which is kind of upsetting after all the fun we had out there. I spent some time with them. I did everything I could for their grandson. And I'm not gonna use that against them later, but I'm saying I've done a lot to help them. I even went on their Facebook page because I was interviewed on camera on that page. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what's bringing this on all of a sudden, but I did everything I thought that I was supposed to do to help this family. I loved them. I still do. And I wish they wouldn't be so quick to believe something, to be convinced of something when there is no evidence supporting the claim that's being made. And I did point out I did point out that there may be maybe a little misunderstanding in the language because I always say, "Show me evidence of the claim you're making." Well, they do in fact show me evidence, like if they're posting the screenshots of the claims, yeah, okay, cool. That is evidence of the claim. However, it's not evidence for the claim. Claims aren't evidence in this regard. Yes, the claims contain information. The claims there's information embedded in the claim. And it's a proposition that would require evidence to confirm it to be true or not true. And if there's no evidence to confirm it, then why would you believe it? I want to know why people believe things without question, without challenge, without scrutiny involved. Does it shoehorn your initial feeling about me? Well, cool. Then be on your merry fucking way. But you know what? I care about what's actually true and what's not. I would expect everybody. Maybe my standards of people or expectations of people are just too high. But I would expect people to not be the dullard, simpleton types that they are. I want for people to engage honestly. If someone is telling you something, question it. Some of my friends have. As a matter of fact, one of my friends, who is the mom of a cancer warrior, was accosted by this Justina Banks. I'm not going to say a name, but the mother asked, "Where's your proof? Show me a picture of who you are. Let's see who you really are. You want to convince me of something about Jared Fuller? Then why don't you show who you are? Why don't we ever get to see your face?" And it's true. Why don't we get to see your face, Justina? You claim to be a woman or a female. Um, you say that, oh, just imagine how stinky he is in that Easter bunny costume. Okay, now you're just floundering because you know that there's people who actually don't believe a fucking word you say. So now you have to flounder in insults. Well, that's great. Go ahead. Your insults bounce off me like common sense and hygiene bounces off you. So you want to play that fucking game with me, Justina? Because we can go rounds all afternoon. But see, I have a life and I don't have that kind of time to be wasting on people like you. I don't create fake Facebook accounts dedicated to slandering and defaming somebody. That's a cowardly thing to do. And when you get people who are willingly believing things that they read on social media, well, it must be true because it's on social media. There's no hope for you. There's absolutely no hope for you. I can sit here for the rest of my life and explain logic to people who should get it and don't, but I don't have that kind of time. The time that I do have, as now, being a Sunday video update, a daily rant recording, an editorial, I will use those bits of information or those bits of content to try to explain to people that they're being lied to. I can't say that it's going to work. I would only hope that it would. And it really bothers me that the people that I stayed with, it just bothers me that they would actually go along with this. Um, I know that they've made some vague posts, and I know I pushed away someone I think who was looking out for me in their best interest. And they know who they are, and I don't even think they're subscribed to this channel anymore. But when you come at me with attitude and Messenger, I'm only going to put up with so much of it, and then I'm just going to fucking block you and be done. But if you're willing to have a conversation, then let's have that conversation. And damn it. So these people that I stayed with, I don't have any hard feelings towards them. I don't have any beef with them. But I have an issue with people who are going to lie and people who are allegedly are my friends who are just going to believe things without question and without challenging and without um, putting it to the test. They just willingly believe what they're being told. And I'm just checking my Messenger here real quick because I deactivated Facebook and I kept Messenger. So, so I'm just checking some things out here. Okay. All right. I want for people to know what they're getting themselves into. Now, most people, like I'm not famous in Chesaning. Most people know who I am. They see me around town at Frank's, Dollar General, even at the park. Um, excuse me. They know who I am. They know what I'm about. You know, when I go into the businesses, I do my business and I'm gone. I don't give it any more thought. I don't stick around longer than I have to. I go in, get what I need, and I'm out. Most people know that I'm friendly and I'm not there to cause harm. I'm not there to bother anybody. But sometimes you get people who are they don't think about what they're being told, and then it becomes a problem because they just don't understand how logic and critical thinking works. And then I have to explain this to them all over again, and it seems like clockwork trying to explain how that works. Well, yes, you've seen claims of things that I've allegedly done, things that I've allegedly said and done. But can you actually prove that to be true? And it's like no one has that kind of mental wherewithal to be asking those questions. They're like, "Oh, well, that's scary. I mean, if this is what you're saying is true, well, that's a pretty big if, don't you think?" Especially when that person making the claim has not demonstrated that their claim holds up to the standards that you would expect, provided evidence that would satisfy the burden of proof. I mean, if you're accusing me of saying and doing things, but where's the proof? You got to show evidence of that. Justina Banks has, like I said, they have dedicated this entire account specifically for me. And yes, there are other people who, um, they've commented on some of my stuff and they are relentless. They think it's funny watching me and listening to me talk. Great. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. But I want you to learn something from watching my channel. I don't want you to watch just a, oh, well, he's funny what he says and this, that, and the other. And, um, no, I want you to actually pay attention to what the fuck I'm telling you, because what I'm trying to tell you is going to help you. Now, oh, hold on, guys. Trying to get a sinus pill out of here. What you're being told, I mean, it hasn't been demonstrated with any kind of with evidence. I know, Kay. I know. And Kay, while you're here, I want to offer my apology to you, if I can, please. If you'll accept my apology. I wouldn't say I'm under a lot of stress, Kay, but I am overwhelmed. Like overwhelmed to the absolute fucking max. And you're right, I shouldn't have taken it out on you, and I do apologize. But I feel that this started because I wouldn't tell you where I was going, where my vacation was. I didn't want to tell anybody. In the fear that this kind of shit would be going on with this Justina Banks. And guess what? It has. And that's what I feared. And then after you kind of got snarky with me because I wouldn't tell you where I was going, then that fishtailed into, well, I don't appreciate you saying things that, you offended me with the editorial. Well, tough shit. Tough shit. I mean, I'm offended by a lot of shit that people say too, but I don't complain about it. That's life. Move on. You're allowed to have your views and I'm allowed to have mine. But the people who have differing views, I don't attack the people. I attack the views. That's it. So that's how that started. And yeah, we'll have a conversation. But here's the problem, Kay. Your mom is friends with Justina Banks. Your mom is fraternizing with the enemy. So that kind of makes me leery and suspicious. For years, you've been saying, well, I just feel like you don't trust me enough to have a conversation with me. Well, because your mom is fraternizing with the enemy, and I can't prove either way what's going on. I'm not saying that you're going back and telling your mom to tell this Justina Banks the places I'm going or the people I'm seeing. I'm not saying that at all. But when you are friends yourself with the enemy, it does make me leery. And because your mom is friends with the enemy, I remain leery about disclosing any kind of information to anybody because I don't know if I'm being deceived. So you have to understand where I'm coming from. I have to be very careful because now look, we're right back to where we started with this Justina Banks attacking people, putting things into people's heads that isn't fucking true, hasn't been met with the burden of proof or with evidence. So we're right back to where we started. And I find myself constantly trying to explain logic and critical thinking to people who just don't fucking get it. You can't just say something willy-nilly and, oh, it's true because they said it. I don't care what they say. They have to prove it. And if your mom had any fucking sense, she would be doing the same. You know what? You're saying all this stuff about Jared, but why haven't you been able to demonstrate with evidence what the fuck you're saying? I know your mom doesn't think highly of me. I don't really give a fuck what she thinks of me. That's great because I'm not really a fucking fan of hers either. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be connected with people who are fraternizing with the enemy, not knowing if they're relaying anything back to the enemy. I'm not going to play that fucking game. That for me is too expensive. If it's going to belittle my sanity or to cause me to have issues where I'm dealing with anxiety and stress and whatever else, then I'm cutting it out of my life. Your mom needs to understand um, that, she's too old for this shit. She needs to act her age and not her fucking IQ. Yeah, I know she's your mom. I shouldn't say anything negative about anybody's mother, but she kind of laid that groundwork for herself. Being friends with Justina Banks is kind of the groundwork. So now anything Justina Banks says, you have your mom and who knows who else is commenting and whatever on on that account. They're believing everything that this Justina Banks is saying. I can't deal with that. It's too costly for me. I don't know, and it's sad because I don't know who I can trust and who I can't trust anymore. It's gotten to that because Justina Banks has I don't want to give too much credit because Justina Banks is a fucking flat out coward who refuses to show who they are, but they have managed to influence people's thinking. And that to me is dangerous as fuck. And I'm not going to entertain that. I appreciate that, but here's the thing: I didn't care where you were going or who you were. Well, so then why did you ask me? That's the point. That's the point. If you didn't care, then why the fuck did you ask me? And when I wouldn't provide that, you got all snarky with me in Messenger. That wasn't me. That was you. I wanted to stay out of it. Okay, cool. But I didn't care where you were going, who you were with. I don't have the time like all these other people to investigate your friends. I just thought I could know because we were supposed to be friends. Yes, Kara, I understand that. And yes, her name is Kara. Sorry to give it away, but again, you were friends with Justina Banks and your mom still is as far as I know. I don't know. It's a very risky thing to be disclosing any information. There's a lot of people who had no idea where the fuck I was going, just the people who I was going to meet. Those are the only people who knew that I was coming out there. A lot of people didn't know. Dad, of course, Dad knew. My mom knew. Amy knew. My stepdad knew. There were only a select handful of people who knew, and I asked them to keep it under wraps and not say anything. Don't blurt it out to the world. There's even a lot of my other close friends who didn't know that I was going to where I was going to. But you're taking this as, oh, well, it's just me you're not telling. No, there's a lot of people I didn't tell. And for that reason, because now it's right back to where I started in the beginning with this Justina Banks filling people's heads with a bunch of bullshit that's not true. I mean, it's pretty fucking cowardly to sit behind a fucking Facebook account, not using your real identity to talk shit about someone that you don't like and you have a vendetta against. Well, we're going to clear up that vendetta pretty fucking quick, really fast. I'm done. I don't know if they do this for my reactions and responses to their bullshit. I don't know. I don't know why they continue to do it. They get some kind of rise out of lying to people, thinking that they're virtuous or not virtuous, victorious, and being the fucking cowardly ass fucking liars they are, because they seem to convince people that I'm this horrible person. And I have yet to see any kind of proof where I'm being horrible. I wish someone would just show me some evidence of any claim that's being made about me. Now, if you point to the daily rants, oh, you bet your ass. I've said a lot of things in daily rants and I regret none of it because vitriol is a bitch. And I don't have a problem dishing out a little payback, especially to people who want to be stupid and not look into things better or more clearer with a fucking closer eye on things. Well, this is what I was told, and this is what's going around, and people are saying you're a weirdo. I don't give a fuck what they say. Have I given you that impression that I'm a weirdo? Have I actually personally given you that impression? And that's my question to the people that I stayed with. Have I actually given you that impression? I wish they would call me so we could have that conversation. But instead, they've ended up blocking me from one page. They won't reply to my messages. I don't appreciate being stonewalled after I had went all that way, went through all the trouble of getting the fucking plane ticket to go out there. And I thought we were having a great time. I don't like two-faced people. They shake your hand with one hand and stab you in the fucking back with the other. I don't appreciate people like that. I've dealt with that shit enough, and I gotta tell you, I'm not impressed. That has nothing to do with me and what I think or feel. We don't even discuss you or that page. Okay, if it has nothing to do with you, then why would you come to me and complain about something I said that offended you? You know what? There's a lot of people who get offended by the things I say. Okay, get over it. It's really that simple. There are lots of things in this life that I don't agree with, like this Justina Banks fucking coward. And I don't care who gets offended by that. I don't. I get offended by a lot of things. And you know what? Nobody else should care what I get offended by because me being offended is a personal problem that I need to sort out and I need to take care of. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. You think it's just you. I'm picking on you. I'm not picking on anybody. I didn't tell a lot of people where I went. Matter of fact, I have another friend who is a mom of a cancer survivor. She lives out in the plains, and she didn't know where I was going, and we talk about a lot of personal shit all the time. It's not just you. It's not just you, but you think that it is, and I'm sorry that you think that it's just you. But it's very hard for me to come to grips with people who are friends with the enemy, and I'm supposed to just be okay with that. That's not how I roll. And furthermore, I'm not putting you in a position where you have to pick and choose who you're gonna be friends with, because I've been accused of that too. I'm not that kind of a person. But if you're gonna fraternize with someone who is currently and viciously running my name into the ground and trying to paint a very bad portrait of who I am, then I want nothing to do with anybody associated with them. Nothing. Because if you're my friend, I expect you to be my friend. That's it. And that goes for anybody I stay with in the past, anybody I'm gonna stay with in the future. If you are my friend, you better fucking prove it to me now. Otherwise, we're done. And I don't care. I will go back to living my life, writing in my journal, writing my poetry. I will keep to myself. I don't have a problem with it. I am very much in tune with keeping to myself. I'm not afraid of being by myself. I'm not afraid of being alone. That's what you people need to understand about me. I don't care. That has nothing. And then let's see. Okay, fair enough. Okay, cool, cool. So we agree on something. That's fantastic. Out fucking standing. So now we actually finally agree on something. But you did, and you can't deny it. You got snarky with me because I wouldn't tell you where I was going, and then it fishtailed into, oh, well, I'm offended by something you said in an editorial. I don't care. Tough shit. And I say that in the nicest way possible. Tough shit. There are lots of things that I don't agree with, and I see and hear it every fucking day. Does it bother me? Yeah, but that's something I have to deal with on my own and not make it known to the world that I'm offended by something. Otherwise, it comes off as whining, pretentious whining. And I don't have time for that. If something bothers me, I pay no well, I mean, if it's not something that involves Justina Banks, Justina Banks is like a fucking wart on someone's testicle that just does not go away on its own. The deterrent to people like Justina Banks is litigation. And I'm going to be making contacts to the Michigan Bar Association to find out what my options are for attorneys. I'm going to be doing everything. And I've got other people on the case with me. They're going to help me. They're looking into things for me. They're suggesting things for me. We're going to get this shit taken care of. And all you people who are just blindly believing without question everything you're being told, you're going to find out that you were fucking wrong. And I've been trying to tell you this entire time, that you were wrong. Being the kind of guy I am, I might accept your apology. I might. That's a big might. It depends how much of this shit you want to believe about me. But if you're going to cut me off without actually knowing the truth, then this is for you, because I don't have fucking time to deal with dishonest people. I don't. I got enough going on in my life right now. My mom had her chemo port put in last week, so she started that. I deal with this shit going on now with this fucking Justina Banks coward. I got people staying with me, which is also it's a lot for me to deal with. It's a lot. I've got so much other shit going on. I don't have time to be dealing with petty crap. Oh, you didn't tell me where you were going. No. Am I supposed to? Am I required? Am I obligated? No, I'm not. A lot of people didn't know where I was going. And that's the way I liked it, because I don't need people following me and they think they got to know every fucking move I make. Because now you have Justina Banks, they're lying to people, these pages on Facebook, Raising Ramey and Life with Lexi on the Spectrum, and some other pages that I would rather not mention. And they don't, and the sad thing is the people that I stayed with, they fucking spent 4 days with me. They told me with their own mouths that they did not feel threatened by me. They didn't feel as though I was a threat to their grandson. They didn't feel that. So now I have to question, gee, were they telling me the truth? Was that just some kind of a put on, or were they actually telling me the fucking truth? I love those people out there. I thought they were cool people. We had a lot of fun together. We spent a lot of time together just in that short 4 days that I was out there. It was a lot of fun. But now we're at this point where Justina Banks is running her fat fucking mouth, or his fat fucking mouth, convincing people of things that aren't true. And I am so goddamn tired of this. So tired. You have no idea. No idea. You're not friends with the enemy? You sure? Because you were at one time. Because you said you were spying. Well, you're still friends with them. That's the point. You were still fucking friends with them. I'm over it. That has nothing to do with what's happening now. You know what? You know what? I have fucking been over this. For the last 2 fucking years, I have been over this. You're not telling me something I don't already know. I have been over this. I'm fed up. You don't understand. I'm under so much pressure right now. Meanwhile, my connections and my friendships are being tarnished. But then again, is that even true? Because anybody who can just willingly believe something without actually demonstrating how true it is, maybe they already didn't like me to begin with, because any real friend would not just fucking walk away. Well, they said this, so it must be true. I guess we can't be friends with Jared anymore. Are you fucking kidding me? If I had anything to hide, do you think I would be showing my face on camera? Do you think I'd be using my actual voice? I don't need to hide anything about me. I've got nothing to hide. Nothing. I come here practically, I don't want to say every week because I had taken a couple weeks off, but I usually come here every fucking Sunday. The same person, the same voice. I don't alter my appearance. This is who and what I am. If I was in any kind of serious trouble like that, the things I'm being accused of, do you think I'd be coming back every fucking week to do a Sunday video update? Do you honestly think that when I go away for 4 or 5 days that I would be coming back to this fucking address? It's where I eat, sleep, shit, write my poetry, write in my journal, and do my Sunday video updates. This is where I fucking live. If I was guilty of any of that, don't you think I'd run? Don't you think I'd be in hiding? Oh, I don't need to hide. Because when something is not true, what am I running from? If I'm not guilty of anything, what am I running from? Yeah, I deactivated my Facebook account, but that's not the same thing as running. I haven't run away from anything. I'm still here. Facebook or not, I'm still fucking here. And you people who are blindly believing this bullshit from Justina Banks, you really need a fucking wake up call. You need a reality check and you need to start asking questions and challenging things that you're being told instead of just fucking believing it on the fly. Well, I don't know. We've discarded this person from our lives and blah blah blah. Well, good for you. Do you want a pat on the fucking back? You want a cookie? Because you have made a very bad decision based on very bad information with no evidence to support the claim that's being made. I don't like simpletons. I don't like dullards. I don't like people who are just straight up fucking stupid and don't understand how logic works. I don't have the patience for people like that. I just I have zero patience. Zero. I should not have to give up my life and the people that I have, my friends, because some asshole, some psychotic lunatic wants to come up with a fucking Facebook profile slandering and defaming my name viciously and ruthlessly. I shouldn't have to go without friends and having a life because someone wants to fucking lie about me. Yeah, I'm pissed. Pissed is that's saying it nicely because I would expect people to know better than to believe stupid shit for no good reason. I would expect you to be better than this. And I couldn't care less if I being blocked from a fucking page. Big deal. Who cares? It's overrated anyway. The point that I'm trying to make is that you're making decisions based on hearsay. I don't understand how anybody in their right mind could just possibly think of something when there's nothing to confirm that what they're being told is true. I just don't understand it. And this is coming from a demographic of people uh, uh, pertaining to medical stuff where evidence is the most fucking required to make the diagnoses of the condition, whether it be autism, childhood cancer, anything. You need evidence to support to make that diagnosis, to claim this. You need the evidence for that. Why should why should this be any different? You're being given bad information and you're making decisions based on bad information. Why? Not very fucking smart. And when I've even tried to nicely explain this, people still don't get it. It just goes right over their fucking head. Okay, then if that's the way you feel, then we obviously shouldn't be friends. Well, bye. Bye. So there's that. Bye. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I'm just done. I'm tired of I'm sick of this whole thing. I'm sick of every turn in my life, every whim, every turn in my life, I'm being portrayed as this horrible person. What have I done that's so horrible? I wish someone would just tell me instead of Justina Banks saying, "Oh, he's a perv," and where am I being perverted? Just you saying it is not. That's just not true. You have to show where I'm being perverted. I'm out of fucks to give. I'm telling you, I am totally and completely bankrupt on fucks to give at this juncture in my life. I am done. I'm just done. And Justina Banks better just watch the fuck out because we're going to do some investigation. Actually, matter of fact, the investigative process has already taken place. I've got people watching the account. So now, with that being said, you can expect Justina Banks's Facebook profile to be set to friends only. Why? What are you trying to hide? You want to convince people that what you're telling them is true, Justina. Why the fuck are you going to be a coward and then set your Facebook profile to to friends? Why would you do that? Why not just leave it public? The whole world should know what kind of fucking lying ass coward you are. Because if you're not going to do that, I will be happy to expose the fuck out of you. Just like Russ Boggs pretending to be Jack Karstens on Twitter. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that either, did you? Oh, yeah. Look at Jack L. Karstens on Twitter. The L stands for low life because that's exactly what the fuck he is. A low life, loser ass, coward, maggot, bag of shit. But look at his Twitter. Go ahead. Go check out Jack L. Karstens on Twitter. It'll be an absolute slandering and defaming and just bludgeoning of one Jared Fuller. And by the way, Justina Banks is also making the claim that I allegedly had cancer when I was a kid. Yeah, allegedly, when I have shown every bit of evidence that is made available to me, and I have shown it to everybody else, but allegedly I didn't have cancer. Okay, so explain this battle scar. Explain it. If I didn't have cancer, explain it. What the fuck? What is this? What is that scar going across my stomach? What the fuck does that tell you? That mark right there. You see it? You see that mark right there? That's where I had my port. You don't think that wasn't caused from cancer? Then tell me, what the fuck is it? What is it? Explain. Because I'm obviously clueless and stupid and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Explain that. I want to know. Justina Banks is such a big fucking expert on me and my life. Then what were those battle scars? Here, I got another battle scar. It's on my wrist. You ever hear of a thing called ABGs, arterial blood gases? Well, there's a little white mark on my wrist from where I had that procedure done. Oh, but I didn't have cancer as a child? Fuck you, Justina Banks, you piece of shit coward. I don't know who it is. It's just a number. But I'm so fed up. Huh? Who is it? Who? Hmm. Okay. I don't know who he's talking to. But guys, listen. Yeah, I am on fire this week because I am sick to death of trying to cope with everything going on. I am sick and tired. I'm tired of Justina Banks constantly getting away with convincing people that I'm a horrible person. I'm tired of the whole fucking thing. And I would expect that those people that I went to stay with, I don't want to mention names because I'm not trying to put them on the spot. I'm really not trying to put them on the spot. I want them to think because I know they watch these videos. I want them to think. I want you people to think about what you're being told. I'm not mad at you, but I am a bit pissed at the fact that you made a decision that shouldn't have been made. I understand people panic. That's the state of affairs that we're currently in. People panic every fucking day about the littlest things. And then when something goes awry, oh, they offer their thoughts and prayers like national shooting. I don't give a fuck about your thoughts and prayers. I do not care. I couldn't be bothered with that. I don't care. They don't mean shit to me. Even if it is a gesture, your thoughts and prayers do nothing to solve the problem. But we're talking about someone who is just going to knowingly lie about me to people that I've been connected with, like Life with Lexi on the Spectrum and Raising Ramey, the people I stayed with, just other random people. Nicole Willard, who lives down in Indiana. Ravens Lore is the name of the Facebook page. She's convinced that I'm a horrible person without actually having the conversation. And yeah, I prompted the conversation. I asked her, let's have the conversation. I don't want to write you off as a liar, but I want you to have the conversation with me so we can clear up the confusion that you've been lied to. The mom on the Raising Ramey page, I don't know what her name is. I really don't care, but she is a dullard to absolute epic proportions because she is not willing to have a conversation either. At all. Well, I'm being convinced of this and I panicked. Well, you know what? That's to be expected. What do you think the Justina Banks account is meant for? It is to put fear and shock into people. They get that reaction, the knee-jerk reaction. The first thing that comes to mind of someone saying something awful about Jared Blockham because we have to protect our children, which I'm not denouncing. I have never one time been against protecting children. Never, not one time. I never would have been against it. I'm not against it today, and I won't be against it in the future. Yes, we should protect children against people who actually are the creeps and the predators. But see, you've got the wrong guy. It's not up to me to prove my innocence. It's up to Justina Banks to demonstrate guilt. And the mere fact that all this person does is talk shit, that's why their fucking hips are so wide, because it's packed with so much shit and they talk out of their ass. They have nothing on me, but you are convinced otherwise that what you're being told is true. If anybody can just walk out of my life like that or cut me off without actually having a conversation, that tells me that they weren't truly my friends to begin with and they are fucking fake. And there's a lot of fakery on social media, which is another reason why I walked away. I deactivated my account. I want people to be honest. I want honest inquiry. I want honest conversation. I want open dialogue. I want to have conversations with people. I want to understand what it is about someone saying something being good enough for you to make a decision based on what someone said when there's no way of proving that what they're saying is true. You don't believe everything and disprove what appears to not be true later on. That's backwards. That's not logic. Logic is you don't believe anything until you have evidence to be convinced or compelled that it's true. I don't know why this is so difficult. Why is this so hard for you? It's not, it shouldn't be hard. It's like pulling teeth. Absolute just fucking dullards, man. Just simpletons. Don't investigate anything. Well, I would just say I've done nothing to give you the impression that I'm a non-trustworthy person, but if that's how you really feel, so be it. I never said you weren't trustworthy. What I said is that I find it difficult to disclose information to I swear you don't listen to what I say. I swear you don't listen. Because I never said you were not trustworthy. I said I didn't tell anybody where I was going. And especially people who are connected with the enemy. I didn't say you weren't trustworthy. Give me a break. Yeah, and yeah, I do find it difficult to trust some people, but that's not to say you're not trustworthy as an individual. I don't know why that wow. I'm sure you are a trustworthy person. I never said you weren't, but I don't trust anybody. That's my personal take. I don't trust a lot of people anymore. Incredible. Incredible. It's like I don't know. I don't even know if I'm speaking English half the time because people don't listen. They don't pay attention. They can't when I ask a question, they can't honestly answer anything because they know that I've cornered them intellectually into being honest and answering a question that they can't fucking answer. That's why so many people refuse to have conversations with me when I try to have conversations with them because they know that I'm going to fucking corner them into a situation where they have to be honest about their dishonesty. That's why they don't want to talk. Instead, what I get is, well, I don't feel I need to explain. Of course, because your desire to not have a conversation, it tells me right then and there that you are ignorant and you're trying to elude the responsibility of admitting that you're being ignorant about the subject. So, yeah, you know what? If you feel you don't need to have a conversation, well, thank you for telling me that you're ignorant and you're willing to believe anything you're told. And I'm not talking about UK. I'm talking about all these other people out there, whom of which I've tried to engage. And they simply want to fucking walk away or they want to steer in the other direction. Well, I don't think I need to explain myself and this, that, and the other. Fuck off. You're dishonest. And now dad's awake after the hour. I know I'm going to be going over the hour. I'll probably hang out for a little while. I usually go just an hour every week from about 3 until 4. I have another live stream that I need to watch, and I'm going to be heading out pretty soon. How you doing, Dad? Well, I'm done anyway. I've been here for the hour. I've been here for the hour. Justina Banks, Dad. It. Well, can't say that, but well, I just did because if it's I don't know who it is, but I guess I kind of do. But it's going to get worse before it gets better, and I would only hope that those people, because I know they watch my videos. They told me this. They watch my videos every week. Thank you. I appreciate it. But you have to understand that you're being lied to. Have they ever demonstrated to you, the person who's believing Justina Banks, have they ever demonstrated to you, ever, that I'm a bad person? Email me. My email address is in the About tab section of this YouTube channel. Fucking email me. Explain to me where they have convinced you of wrongdoing on my part, on my behalf. I'll be, my email inbox is always open. Try to make that quick because there's a lot of light coming through that door. But I am sick to death of people being dishonest and eluding truth. And while I believe what I want to believe and that's it, well, that's not how it fucking works. It doesn't just affect you, it affects people around you. The decisions you make in life affects other people. Whether you want to view it like that or not, that is the truth. Now, I don't know how to fix this, and it's not my responsibility to fix this, but I am seeking legal counsel. And whoever this Justina Banks is, they're fucking going down. And I have a pretty good idea of who it is. But this has got to stop. I need for you people to stop believing things without good reason. And that goes especially for Life with Lexi on the spectrum. I know it sounds as though I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm trying to get you to open your fucking eyes and think. Think about what you're being told. Can you do that? Are you capable of thinking? And I'm going to end it on that note because I got other stuff to do. And if I just think that if I keep going, I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours, and I've got way important other shit to do than to sit here and to try to have a conversation with a fickle public, people who just, they don't care. They don't care about anything. They only care about what makes them feel good, all warm and fuzzy inside. Well, I don't give a fuck what makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Let's go by the truth, shall we? Shall we? Yeah, and by the way, Justina Banks is engaged in cyberbullying, which is against the fucking law. And so there's that too. It is a form of bullying. It's against the law. It's illegal. And we're gonna be adding that onto the lawsuit. But if you can't just do yourself the grand favor of asking the questions, if Justina Banks messages you about Jared Fuller, then you need to start asking the questions. Why? First of all, why do you keep fucking with this guy? What has he ever done to anybody? And the claims you make, can you show evidence that corroborates with that claim? If you can't, why are you believing it? You don't have a leg to stand on. But anyway, I got some shit to do. I got to pay bills tomorrow. I don't know what else is going on this week. I don't know. I can't. I don't know what's going on. But Dad, did you want to add anything? Because I've been going for almost an hour and 10 minutes, and I am exhausted. I'm worked up. There's one thing that Justina Banks cannot take from me. The love that I have inside for the people that I get to meet, the memories that we create together, the laughter we've had, the good times we shared. Justina Banks can't take that from me. Nothing. If this person is jealous, which I'm assuming, and I shouldn't assume anything, but I'm assuming this person is jealous, look into your own life. Evaluate your life. Even still, evaluate the moral decisions you're making, which, by the way, are immoral. When you come up with Jared is a creep and Jared is a this and a that, and it's just a bunch of brash comments and statements that mean nothing. Because you know when people call you out on your bullshit, all you have left is name calling. If you're trying to convince people and they say, I'm not convinced, show me some proof. Better yet, show us what you look like. And then you push back on that by saying, well, how dare you demand that I show you proof of who I am? That right there is the biggest red flag. Because if it's true, you wouldn't need to hide who you are. Wait, 1 second. See my face? See me? This is me. This is me. I'm not hiding anything. This is who and what I am. This is what I look like. Everywhere in life, this is my identity. That's what I look like. That's what I sound like. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself and have a nice day. Now, I got things to do. Are you sure you didn't want anything to add? I'm out of here. I'm done. So I love y'all. I'll see you next week. Take care And Amy might be back next week. I don't know what's going on with that, but she should be back, I think, by next week. But I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.